What day is it? Did I forget to turn the stove off? Where are my keys? Wait, I don't even know you. Who are you? What are you doing in my house? Please go away. I'm talking about Alzheimer's. Every year, my aunt does the Walk to End Alzheimer's and makes a new shirt with a catchy slogan every single time. Like some said, forget me not, and then on the back they always say, Judy's crew, my grandma. Some of you may have had someone in your life that has died from Alzheimer's or have been affected by it, and I certainly have. So what is Alzheimer's and how did it affect my family? Well, the Alzheimer's Association defines Alzheimer's as a type of dementia that causes problems with memory, thinking, and behavior. Symptoms can usually develop slow and get worse over time and may interfere with day-to-day tasks, and you may die from it. It was 2013 when my family and I were going to go to California for the summer, and we were going to see my grandma because she was quickly progressing with this disease. We got there and she didn't even know who my brother was and was so scared and actually was terrified of him. But she knew me. She thought I was my mom but younger because we look so much alike, but didn't know my mom. We were there for a couple weeks and we saw her progressively get worse. She could not do day-to-day activities or tasks like go to the bathroom or get changed by herself or even sleep by herself because she would stop breathing. So my aunt became her full-time caregiver. And that was hard on her because she had 2 little girls to raise and she didn't need the extra of my grandma with her. My grandma was so bad that she couldn't do anything and would be constantly scared of other people. But if you mentioned candy in front of her, oh, she would go crazy and she would want that candy. We mentioned the candy store really quietly when we were in California, and my grandma perked up and just wanted that, yet she couldn't say words or anything. She just kept pointing towards where she thought the candy store was. Next is when she tried to stab my mom with a fork when we were at the restaurant. And my mom was just trying to cut up her dessert, but my grandma thought she was going to take it because she didn't know what she was doing and she didn't have the mindset or anything to understand what my mom was doing, and so she just stabbed her with a fork. After we left, my grandma died shortly a couple months later. And that was the hardest thing I think ever because she died not knowing what was happening to her or not knowing that she had family around her to help. After she died, my brother and I swore that when I turned 18, we would do something about this. So I got a shamrock or 4-leaf clover, whatever you call it, in remembrance of her and my grandpa. And whenever I look at it, I always think of her. That can be my second cultural artifact because I constantly have her with me. I think I'm a part of this culture because Alzheimer's also runs in the family. So all my mom and her sisters got tested for it, and the disease can be spread from generation to generation, mostly in women. So my mom cannot have the disease, but if she had a recessive trait and I have the dominant trait, I can end up with Alzheimer's. And I want to know my children, and I want to know my grandchildren. So the reason I'm part of this culture is because I do the Walk to End Alzheimer's every single year. We make t-shirts, we fundraise, and we do everything we can to raise money for this and walk, because I don't want to live my life like my grandma did for her past couple of years. I think of her every single time I wear that shirt for pajamas. I think about her, not in a sad way, I just think of her. And I know that she's always with me because of my tattoo, and I always have her every single year that we do the Walk to End Alzheimer's for her. So thank you. Let me get my note card. Where were we? Kind of forgot what we were talking about. I can't remember.